Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, your station for empowerment, music, and talk radio. EB Radio presents Empower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The Empower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Good day, amazing people, and welcome back to Empower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Morris-Smith, and it is another amazing day. You know, every single day is amazing, but it is another amazing day. You know, I want you to know that I believe you have the power to be great, have great, and do great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. Action. That's what it's all about. We have greatness that is within us, but we have to learn to take action. And speaking of action, let me tell you about what I use each and every day that is helping me with taking action. It's helping me with my list, and that is Todoist. Todoist is a to-do list and task manager for professionals, small businesses. For you right now that's listening, I use it every single day to help me in combining tasks, projects, you name it. When it comes down to getting things done and being more productive, Todoist is going to help you do it. I use it each and every day. So if you're looking for a tool to help you manage your list and help you stay organized and focused, try Todoist. It's going to get you together. But don't take my word for it. Try it out yourself. Make sure you look at the link in the show notes to learn more. Now, let me tell you, it is such an amazing journey. It has been an amazing journey because if you tuned into last week's episode, you heard me talk about becoming her and how I've been on this journey of becoming her and what that looks like. And so when we think of becoming her or becoming him, it is all about becoming the highest version of yourself. And so today I want to dive into the journey of self-realization and really empower you today. So today I'm going to speak on reinvention, becoming her and refusing to settle, or if you are male listening, becoming him and refusing to settle, because I want us to really explore changing our narratives, right? So changing our narratives and really looking how we can step out of our comfort zones and where we can really embrace our true selves, because that's what it's all about. So we want to really break free from settling and start living a life that we truly desire and deserve. So I hope you are ready. I hope you're ready. And I tell you, buckle up, because today's topic of reinvention, becoming her or him and refusing to settle, it's all about a journey of greatness, a journey of greatness. You know, I just told you that you have greatness within you, but you have to unleash that greatness within you. So know that this journey of greatness does not follow a linear path. There are twists, there are turns, and sometimes there are complete overhauls that happen in our life. That is what reinvention is all about. So today I'm going to keep this very short, sweet, and to the point, because I don't feel like I need to draw it out. And I know that this is going to empower you today, because when I tell you this journey of becoming is so real, it's so real. It's so real that as I have been on this journey, and to give you a little back history, I decided to join this becoming her journey. And I wanted to actually, this is something that I adopted for my birthday this year. So I'm like, this is something that I want to implement into my life. I want a theme. I want a whole thing that's go along with it, so that I can not just reflect and, look at the blessing of turning another year, but something that I can continue to do each and every day, just as I continue to grow, as I continue to learn more about myself, as I continue on this journey. And so when I tell you it has turned into a huge, it's been a huge aha moment for me along the way so far. And it hasn't even been a month, y'all, but it's been a journey of just amazingness and self-discovery, of reflection, of aha moments after aha moments. And I have to laugh because there's been so many moments that I have been able to share with my family, been able to share with my daughter, and really encourage her and others to start their own becoming journey. So the first point, and I'm going to give you 3 points today. The first point that I'm going to speak on as we're talking about reinvention and becoming and refusing to settle, because that's a part of it. That is you making a decision to say, you know what? I refuse to settle for, not giving my all. I refuse to settle. And because I refuse to settle, I'm going to give my 120% each and every day from here on. Because I refuse to settle, I'm going to do things differently in my life. I'm going to show up differently in my finances. I'm going to show up differently with my faith journey and my spiritual walk. I'm going to show up differently in my professional, my work life. I'm going to show up differently with my personal growth and development. I'm going to show up differently in my health and wellness, and I'm going to show up differently in my relationships. It's all about a decision that you're going to make. So I hope that you're going to join me on this becoming journey, because it is so real. It is real. It is uncut. And it is the most amazing journey that I have been on thus far. So the first point that I'm going to share with you is that we have to embrace change. So on this journey of becoming, it's all about change and our willingness to embrace change. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, a philosopher and author, once said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, if that is not powerful, let me tell you, that is powerful in itself. And some of you may need to rewind it back and listen to it one more time. But so you don't have to, I'm going to tell you one more time. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You see, embracing change is a step towards reinvention. It may seem scary and daunting or even unnecessary at times. But remember that change is often that springboard that propels us towards becoming better versions of ourselves. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am an auntie and a child of the Most High God. But when I tell you, I learned a long time ago that change is going to happen, whether we want it to or not. Think about the seasons. We have the summer, the fall. We have winter. We have spring. Think about the seasons and whether or not you like winter or whether or not you like summer. It doesn't matter, because guess what? The season is going to come and it's going to happen. And when it does, there's always some kind of change with nature. And we can't do anything but embrace the change. So I'll tell you that it's so interesting, because just the other day, my family and I were in the car. And sometimes when we're in the car traveling different places, we play little games. And so we were playing this game where I said, okay, if you had to get rid of one item of, the list. And so I went on to name different items on a list, and everyone in the car went through and said, oh, I would get rid of this item, and they would give their why. And so one of the questions was, what season? If you had to get rid of one season, what season would it be? And I'll tell you, almost everyone in the vehicle said winter, because no one wants to be cold. No one wants all the snow and all that. Even the children even mentioned winter, which was surprising. But winter, and I'll tell you, that would be the season that I, don't particularly care for out of all of the seasons. But I can't do anything about it. all I can do is embrace it. So I embrace the winter. I pull out my boots and my sweaters and I embrace it. I like to think that I embrace it fabulously, but I embrace it. And so I tell my children and I tell my clients all the time, you know what, when there's something that's coming up in your life and there's a change, take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes to vent, complain, scream, yell, do whatever you need to do, because we have emotions and feelings that are attached to, how we feel about it that need to come out. And then we need to determine if that thing is something that you can change or not. And if so, then let's get to work. But if not, after those 5 minutes, it's time for you to change your attitude. So we have to embrace this journey. How have you embraced your journey? Now, if you're on this journey of really leveling up in your life and becoming the highest version of yourself, then look at how you've embraced change in the past. And then now look at how you're trying to grow, how you're trying to move. What does becoming look like for you when you think about embracing change in your life? Now, I hope that as you are having these thoughts, that not only are you having these thoughts, but you're writing them down. So you've pulled out that notebook and you're writing them down, because there is so much to be said about writing things and getting things out of your head and on paper. So remember, the first point is all about embracing change. On your journey, how have you embraced change? And then how will you continue, or how will you embrace change as you look at it from the perspective of becoming him or becoming her? The second point is of the reinvention is self-discovery and authenticity. Now, I have to quote Oprah on this. And Oprah Winfrey says, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. She sees it instead as a forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously towards a better self. And so on this journey of becoming, it is all about self-discovery. This has been the most interesting time for me, as I really pay attention and I'm a lot more intentional about the actions that I'm taking. I'm a lot more intentional, even with thinking and about, different decisions that I've made and the decisions that I continue to make and that I, have made and will continue to make in all the different areas of my life. And understanding that we have to embrace every bit of us, our flaws. They are a part of the intricate weave that is us. So we are a continuous work in progress. Every step in our journey counts. And so I'll tell you, when I was in my 20s and even part of my 30s, and I hate to really admit that, but that was a part of my journey. It's a part of my journey. I thought I was supposed to be perfect, or my idea of what perfect looked like. And so I'm talking about, perfectionist. And if you can relate, then you understand, that journey and how that feels, especially when it comes down to the way that you move. Because when you have this misconception of being, perfect, it is a thing that stops you a lot of times from moving forward, and because you feel like things have to be perfect. And a lot of times, many of us that, have this misconception may not even move because we're stuck in that perfectionist, like it has to be perfect. And, and I would honestly tell you to really work through where that misconception came from, so that you can continue to grow, and so that you can move past that. But when I tell you I was Miss Perfectionist, so I was her. I wore a t-shirt. I had a hat, I had a badge. I even will say that I had a parking space that said Miss Perfectionist. And I know you get my point. But I was like that until I gave myself permission to let Miss Perfection and Miss Perfect go. And so I'm not saying that, I think that as a perfectionist, I like things to be done in decency and in order. And that doesn't mean now, let me just say this, because wanting things to be done in decency and in order doesn't mean that you're perfection. But that was a part of who I was and who I am. And I really felt like, okay, things have to be perfect, until I realized there is no such thing as perfect. So I gave myself permission to let go of Miss Perfect. And when I say let go, I mean say bye-bye. It's time to hit the road and don't come back no more. It was a work in progress for me, but I came to that understanding on my own self-discovery journey of understanding who I was and those things I needed to change in order to grow. So on this journey of becoming, it's all about you discovering who you are and where you're wanting to grow, where you're wanting to go. That is a huge part of it. And it's something that you continue. The discovery doesn't end. It's something you continue, and make sure you show up as your authentic self. So I had to be real with myself. I had to be honest with myself and understanding that this was a misconception that I was dealing with. And when I recognized that it was holding me back, I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision to take action. I had to understand that in order for me to get to point A, to point B, to point C, and that for me meant leveling up, I needed to do something different. I needed to understand how there is no such thing as perfect. And I needed to understand that in all of the areas of my life. So I gave myself permission. And I hope that today you will give yourself permission if this is one of your misconceptions. Because as we become, we have to understand that we're always a work in progress. We have to embrace every bit of who we are. And before we can do that, that's understanding who we are. Now, the third point that I'm going to give you today for our reinvention is to make sure it's to make sure you're on this journey and understand that you have to refuse to settle. We have to have a refusal to settle. And I say that, and I'm not trying to draw it out, but we have to refuse some more to settle. Refuse to settle. I cannot tell you how many of us settle every single day simply because we feel like there is no other option. Les Brown puts it this way: you have greatness within you. Don't settle for less. You have greatness within you. Don't settle for less. Now, I'll tell you, there have been many times that I've settled. And I'll tell you also, almost every time, we know when we settle and we know how we feel after we settle. Don't accept mediocrity because you deserve the absolute best. Don't settle into a life less than what you desire or what you dream of. Aim high. We have to reach for the stars and refuse to accept anything that does not truly fulfill who you are. Now, I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to me very good and very carefully. I need you to also turn up your volume right now. Turn it all the way up. Because I need you to hear this without distraction, and I need you to hear it very clearly. Settling in your life, in any area of your life, will create a life of regret and unhappiness. You have greatness in you. So when are you going to start moving accordingly? When you recognize this greatness, you become powerful, fearless, fierce, and unstoppable. But you have to recognize that first. And understanding that settling at this point is not an option. If you settled in the past, let the past be in the past. You can make a decision today that, you know what? I refuse to settle anymore because I'm on this becoming journey. And on this becoming journey, as I say, I'm becoming her or becoming him. I refuse to settle. I will continue to move and be the best version of myself. And so whatever that thing is, if it does not line up with you being the best version of yourself, if it doesn't align with your goals, your dreams, and your purpose, then I would dare say that it's settling. So we have to refuse to settle. Refuse to settle. Again, the 3 points is embracing the change. The second point is self-discovery and authenticity. And the third point is reinvention. In this reinvention process is refusal to settle. Now, I feel like these are the building blocks of reinventing ourselves. They are the building blocks. But we have to remember that our journey, your journey, my journey, it is uniquely yours. No two paths of reinvention will ever look the same. And so that is what truly makes the experience special. So I can talk about becoming in my journey, and you can listen and think about your journey and know that our journeys are not going to be the same. But I tell you what, they are very special. Your experience is special as you become the highest version of yourself and tapping into your potential, your maximum potential. Now, I want to urge you as I, get ready to close this down for today, I urge you not to wait for that perfect moment. And I just talked about how I was Miss Perfect. And we want things to line up and, I have to wait till my 40th birthday and I got to wait till my 25th and 30th birthday and I have to wait till August 1st and I have to this. No, you do not have to wait for all those things. Those are excuses that you are making for yourself. The moment to do this is right now. So don't wait for that perfect moment to reinvent yourself, because that moment may never come, especially if you keep giving yourself those excuses. The reality is that perfect time, that perfect moment is right now. It's when you choose to embrace your growth, when you accept your uniqueness, and when you refuse to settle. The legendary Maya Angelou said, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated." That is the spirit of reinvention. That is the spirit of becoming. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. So I urge you to take a deep breath and take the leap towards the journey of reinvention and becoming today. The world needs more of you and who you are truly meant to be. Now, and I tell you, it's time for you to go and become the her become the him that you are meant to become. It is time. It is your time. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. Amazing people, I thank you so much for tuning in to the Empower Hour with Jaresha show today. Until next time, stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journey in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit www.empoweronpurpose.com. Remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.